everyone, and welcome back to Animaechan. Today we're watching Attack on Titan episode... Let me just check real quick. Attack on Titan season 3 episode 57. That day. So... I'm so bad at this intro thing because I'm so nervous to get started with these always. That day sounds big. It sounds like it's cataclysmic. I don't even know if that's a word. Because I don't think catalytic is. Catalytic? Cataclysmic. It's going to be a big episode. Maybe not in terms of action, but there's going to be some important information I can already tell by the title. That day. What day? One thing I did want to point out before I get started watching the episode is in the last episode at the end, I talked about the sash thing that wore around their arm. I said that it made me think of something from the Holocaust. And the only reason I knew about that was because in high school, can I not talk today? In high school, my teacher, English teacher, made us watch Schindler's List. She was like really passionate about stuff like a lot of those kinds of themes in human history. And Schindler's List was one of the things she made us watch. American History X. I'm sure there was a couple of others, and it all had these kind of themes. It was like she wanted to teach us something. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because my brain jumped to the Holocaust because of the David Star. Not sure exactly the exact history behind all of it, but like I said in the last video, it was to, demean a certain group of people. But I wanted to point out that that kind of treatment onto other people or towards other people, the Holocaust was a big thing, and it's something we all remember and know about. Well, most of us do, but definitely not the only case of, it's actually, if you look at every single country, there is similar things. It may not always be about race, it may not always be about religion, but there's always discrimination. It's almost like it's part of our code or some shit. Like, we discriminate when something is other than us, and often there's this fear, and you other things and people and beliefs and whatever, and you start fearing it, like whatever is gonna endanger my livelihood, my family, and there's so much more I could say on this topic, but this is the intro of the video. I'm already rambling. I just wanted to make sure you guys know that, yes, it made me think of the Holocaust first, but that kind of discrimination and that kind of stuff happened all throughout history amongst all kinds of people. Discriminating is kind of part of who we are, and it's used often as an excuse for a lot of things. And I think maybe this anime addresses that part of human nature, and I said maybe it's natural, but does it have to be? And so, even though something might come with an automatic setting, you can always change it when you buy something. Like, it comes and there's default settings, but you can go in and change those default settings if you're just aware how to do that. Like, what are the default settings now, and do I want to change them? Do they need to be changed? Can I improve? Like, can I make the settings better? And I think maybe that's something the anime is trying to do. I don't know. But here we go. I'm gonna watch. Sorry for the long intro. That was the wrong one. There we go. Oh. Sorry, this is me. I talk a lot. The reason I wanted to point out that although my thoughts went to like the Holocaust first and stuff, it's very dangerous to like pin a specific part of history as, you know, the worst case of that or the only case of that, and it's dangerous to start thinking of, let's say, German people as a people that did that. Because remember, it's not any kind of discrimination like that, any kind of othering like that is already dangerous. Like Germans did that to them, us and them. That whole thing it's a dangerous game, and I didn't want that to be the narrative of the end of my last video. I didn't want to make it they did that to them. I didn't want, like, it's just that it did happen, but it happened everywhere and in a lot of different ways still today. So I just wanted to make sure I point that out. I wanted to make sure you guys are aware that othering is a dangerous game to play. Where did he take her, sister? Please just Jesus tell me he took her home. Fuck. Sins that your ancestors committed. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Them being punished for the ancestors of these sins of their ancestors. Sorry for that blunder. This is gonna trigger me if I am not careful.
私はこのマーレチアン局の男が嘘をついていることが分かった。彼らは仕事をサボってこの男たちにへりくだった。私は父にこの男にめまいのするような憎しみを覚え。
1820 years ago, so almost like, 2,000 years ago, Jesus did this and this and this. It sounds like some kind of, fable. 1,820 years ago. Oh, so this is the evil, this is the sin. Our ancestor Ymir, Fritz, made a contract with the devil and obtained the power of the Titans. So it's a religious story, and the power comes from a demon, a devil. Okay. After defeating the great nation, I'm shaking. The great nation of Marley, they ruled over the continent. So the Titans. But the once great nation of Marley plotted to subvert Eldia and its arrogance from within. Our ancestors were abandoned and left behind on this continent. Like the gracious people of Marley let us live. So the oppressed has become the oppressor. Interesting.
I told you guys I was gonna get triggered.
あなたのフェイと同じ目に合わせないでくれ。間違っているのはどちらだろうか。おそらく両方だろう。私は無知で愚かで。
I just want to explain quickly before people start, oh, what a fake bitch, because I know that it's not nothing. Like, yes, she died. It's just kind of sad because I was raised in South Africa, a white person raised in South Africa, and a lot of white farmers are being murdered right now because they're being punished for the sins of their forefathers. And it's not like these people are just being murdered. They're not being forced to live somewhere and forced to, like, wear sashes and shit. These people are being murdered after taking care of our country for, like, a long time. Like, these are the people that manage the farms and you know, grow our food. And their children are being boiled alive. The women are being raped. The men are being skinned and killed. They're being punished for, you know, shit that happened, I don't know, 200 years ago. Do you understand? Like, that's why I knew this is going to trigger me.
この切り傷はどうしますか。これは同胞の妹の事件の真相を知ったとき、
What was the truth? Okay, well, I'd rather be eaten alive by dogs. I thought she was raped and thrown over the bridge.
本当の悪魔はどちらか教えてやる。
I'd show them who the real devil was.
我々の祖先がやったことは正しかったのだ。マーレ政府の内通者はフクロウと呼ばれ、姿を
And so the cycle continues.
人々を豊かにし、この大陸を発展させたんだ。俺たちが教わった歴史は全てゴールに都合のいい。しかしグリシャ、そんなことすぐにわかるだろう。なぜなら俺は始祖ユミルを信じている。俺たちは選ばれし神の子、ユミルの民だ。
私はダイナ・フリッツと申します。王家の血を引くものです。
王家だけが持つ巨人の情報を復権派にもたらした。
Information that only one group of people knew. She told it to you. That's not dangerous at all.
王家だけが持つ巨人の情報を復権派にもたらした。
当時の王は巨人大戦時、大陸内の力の均衡を保つという役目を放棄し、辺境の島に都を移したのです。私たちのこの惨めな日々は、王が争いから目を背けたことから始まったのです。
王子職業、マーレを打倒し、エルディアの誇りを取り戻すのだ。男子を授かった。名はジーク。
Oh, yes, that makes sense because so they have the same father. Obviously, if Zeke was too young to be Grisha's brother, but there was that possibility still that he could have been Grisha's younger brother. So that was my thought. But of course, I didn't even consider the option that if it was Aaron's brother, older brother, obviously he'd have a different mother.
世の中が急速に発展していくこと。エルディア復権派。
That's the photo! The Mardi government needed subjects of Ymir, the Mardi government, to serve as vessels for the 9 titans and become Marleyan warriors. We will be selecting warriors from various zones around the continent. If chosen, their family will be granted the title of honorary Marleyans.
戦士を募ったのだ。莫大な化石燃料を埋蔵するパラディ島は決して無視できるものでは。
A massive cache of fossil
莫
fuel
大な化石燃料を
lies
埋蔵
beneath
する
Paradis.
決して無視できるものではなくなった。今後我々に干渉するなら壁に潜む幾千万の巨
the millions upon millions of titans in the walls will flatten the entire world. In the walls will flatten the entire world. Is this a lie? A bluff?
敵内に侵入し、始祖の巨人を奪還することである。
The founding titan, which Eren has the power of the founding titan. You can't use that power properly unless you have someone of royal blood. But this is all kind of like fantasy, because what makes a person's blood royal? How is a royal person's blood different from the average person's blood? And a devil gave them this power? Sounds like our own history. Jonah was eaten by a whale and was spit out, and burning bush, and it sounds like those. We have those stories, so it's not that difficult to understand their stories. But bitch, this guy, he looks familiar.
マーレの戦士にするのだ。しかし私は知っていたはずだ。
How terrible the sin to besmirch one's beliefs on your children.
何にせよ、ジークは自らと祖父祖母の安全を選んだ。愚かな両親、マーレス。フクロウは誰だ？まあやめてくれ。それは残念だ。もう一本あったこと。覚えていたか。火のことを。どうなってる？なんでジークが俺たちを密告するんだ？お前の息子だろう。なんとか言えよ。何まっすぐ走れ。運が良かったら壁までたどり着けるぞ。こいつ違いない。妹を殺した当局の男。うるさくてかなわんぞ。こいつにはまだ尋問したいことがある。彼女はオーケー。
Is he the owl?
あなたを探し出すから。
そりゃいい。巨人同士でよろしてやってる。
Oh, the smiling titan, the one that ate Eren's mom, Hana's too, right? Is that just bed hair? Why now? Why now? Of all time.
見ろ。前だろう。15年前、8歳の妹を犬に食わせたのはお前だ。
It's this guy. He's also.
ここからは。
He was also a titan that I remember.
面白いからだろ。
It's like, if you think about it on a very crude level, you know how people like watching fights? The best and a simile I think I can give is like, boxing matches. You know, both people are getting hurt, but everyone's screaming, cheering. And what makes this obviously different, because this is not two people willingly taking part in a fight or anything, is that this man does not see them as anything other than devils, because their people were oppressed by their people, and now they become the oppressors. So they've been blinded to the humanity of others because of what other people did. So he just sees it like the entertainment, like a boxing match, like.
平和ってのは大変結構なことだが、何か物足りんのだろうな。生の実感ってやつか。俺はその日を受け入れる心構えがある。なぜならこうやって残酷な世界と向き合い、理解を深めているからだ。まあ、言いたいことはわかる。もし息子が同じ目にあったらと思うと胸が締め付けられる。エルディア人でさえなければな。見ろ、巨人の
It is that Titan.
吸収しただけで巨大な化け物になる。ところが痛むわけないだろう。お前ら復権派は俺たちマーレに何をしようとした。心は痛まなかったのか。偉大な歴史があったんだろ。何が友達と語り合うといい。やめろ。
How ironic, he was just talking about all of this. I'm ready to face it when that day comes. Well, let's see how you face it then. Let's see how you face the cruelty of this world.
どうだ、これが面白いと思うか。俺がフクロウだ。巨人の力はこうやって使う。
And that's how Grisha got his power. Makes you think of
Tokyo Ghoul a little bit. Skip ahead like 2 minutes if you haven't watched Tokyo Ghoul, but it's a similar thing that happens there. Some bad ghouls murder other people, and then those people retaliate against the ghouls because they don't think bad ghouls killed, my family. They just they generalize. Ghouls are killers. And then those humans, understandingly, after losing their family, retaliate against ghouls. Because ghouls kill their family, so they retaliate against the generalized, the other, the whole group. And then they kill innocent ghouls. And then other innocent ghouls lose their family and they retaliate against humans, and there becomes this whole cycle of anger and pain and suffering. And it just keeps going on like that. And honestly, episode 8 of Tokyo Ghoul summarizes this so beautifully, better than I ever could. Kaneki's character is the voice for that message in episode 8 of Tokyo Ghoul. So I do recommend anyone that hasn't watched that yet, definitely do.